Today I'm going to read some stories to you from Stories of Bahá'u'lláh by Ali-Akbar Furutan. And this is a story about Bahá'u'lláh, our founder of the Baha'i faith, when he was very young, about 5 or 6 years old. And we're going to think about him as being called the Blessed Beauty. He had a dream, which he described to his father. In the dream, he found himself in a garden. Huge birds were attacking him from every side, but they were unable to harm him. Then he went to the sea, and as he was swimming, the birds of the air and the fish of the sea attacked him, but he was unharmed. His father summoned a famous man to interpret the dream. "This dream indicates," replied the man, "that the child shall be the founder of a great cause, and that all the leaders and learned men throughout the world will attack him, but like the birds and the fish, they shall do no harm. He will be victorious over all." The next story is when Bahá'u'lláh was a young man, and this is told from his daughter, Bahá'u'lláh. During his imprisonment in the Siachal, the Blessed Beauty had become so ill that he could not eat coarse food. My mother was deeply distressed, and during the difficult journey to Baghdad after his release, she always tried to find ways of getting suitable food for him. One day she was able to obtain a little flour, and that night at the caravanserai she made a sweet cake for him. But alas, it was dark. She used salt instead of sugar, and so the cake was not edible. This next story is about a man we'll call Mirza. He was an early follower of the Bab, and one day he was bullied and beaten, and he managed to get himself outside of the town, but he couldn't walk, and he didn't know if he would live. And this is his story. "While I was sleeping, I dreamed about the Blessed Beauty, even though I had never met him, yet I was certain that it was him, and that he was in Baghdad. He addressed these words to me: 'Despite your injuries heaped upon you, we extended our protection that you might stay alive. Be not grieved, and come to me in Baghdad.' 'But I have no money,' I replied, nor am I able to walk.' 'You do rely upon God,' were his next words, to which I replied, 'I have always relied upon God.' At this moment I woke, and to my great amazement, I saw a caravan that had set up camp on the banks of the very river beside which I had been sleeping. It turned out that they were pilgrims traveling to Karbala, many of whom had come on foot from Kerman. Someone emerged from a tent, and to my great surprise, came straight over to me and asked me to follow him. Overcome with astonishment, I remained rooted on the spot. He repeated his words. I followed him, and we entered a tent. There I saw that several people were attending a man of striking appearance who, as a sign of respect for me, arose, and then seated me next to him. During the night, he told me, I dreamed that the Imam Hussein had entrusted to my care a person with the same appearance and features which I behold in you. And he told me, this man is my guest. He should accompany you to Karbala. So you are my guest as far as Karbala. And so, without the usual formalities of introduction, this distinguished gentleman took me with him, and he would often remark, the Imam has guided you to me and has emphasized that you be shown the utmost hospitality. When we reached Baghdad, I told him, this is where we part. He replied that I was to accompany him as far as Karbala, but I explained that the same blessed personage who entrusted me to your care also came to me in a dream and invited me to come to Baghdad. Therefore, I shall remain here and will not continue the journey with you. My host paled as he heard these words, and in a very apologetic manner replied, to be truthful, the Imam Hussein had directed me to take you as far as Baghdad, and with utmost kindness he bade me farewell. When I came into the presence of the Blessed Beauty, I recognized him as the same holy personage whom I had seen in my dream, and I was thankful to come into his presence. Thank you for listening.